This blue bag is my car bag. It contains the gear that I'm going to need when I get to the put-in. I keep this in a convenient place where I can get at it right away, and I keep my rods and my waiting staff close by. When I get to the put-in, this is the bag that I open first. First thing I do is uh, remove my street clothes, and then I put on my shirt and my long johns and my socks. I then put on my waders. My waders have built-in gravel guards. If you don't have built-in gravel guards, don't forget your gravel guards. That can make things difficult. I then put on my boots and then my wading belt. I no longer carry a fly vest, wear a fly vest. I use this pouch, and it contains all the gear that I'm going to need. I know what I'm going to be using. We're primarily going to be using salmon flies. It contains a small number of flies, fly floatant, nippers, pliers, extra leaders, and extra tippet material. It also carries my Warm Springs license, Boater's Pass, and Pioneer license. Once I've got my gear on, then I take my rods out one at a time. I take the 9 foot for a 6 weight, put my Hardy reel on it. The floating line already has a fresh tapered leader on it, which tapers down to an 8 weight, and I tie the fly on them that I'm going to use, usually a tied down stimulator. Then I open the second rod, which is a 9 foot for a 5 weight, and put on my Lamson reel with a 5 weight floating line. And this also has a new tapered leader that's an 8-pound test, and I tie on the fly that I want to use on that as well. Or I might hook up a nymph rig for that smaller rod. Once I'm geared up, I protect the rods, and then I put the rod cases back in the car, and I put my street clothes back into the blue duffel bag and put it in the car along with the rod cases, and then I'm ready to go. We have the days are long on the river, and most of our stuff has gone down with the boatmen to the camp. It's important to take a day bag that has items and equipment that you may need. I use an Orvis bag that's relatively small, and try not to carry too much. I know this looks like a lot, but you need a raincoat if it rains. You need a fleece or something, a warm coat to put on if it gets real cold. And also, if you decide you want a wet wade pair of shorts, it's important to have extra fishing gear just in case you drop your gear. And I also have extra leader and tippet and a spare reel in case my reel breaks. And I keep the majority of my flies on the boat. Just carry a small number with me. Sunglasses are absolutely critical. They have to be Polaroid. And I include a cleaning cloth, but also I have a buff just in case it gets real sunny, or I want to protect myself from the wind, and then I have a bandana for various needs. Carry some suntan lotion. You don't really need any insect repellent. Insects are not a problem. I carry a first aid kit. It has some lidocaine and some syringes and needles in it, and needle holders just in case somebody gets a hook in it, hook somewhere and needs to be removed. One of the critical things is to carry a change of clothes. I bring a pair of long johns and a shirt and an extra pair of socks. If you happen to fall in, you can take off all your gear, turn your waders inside out and let them dry off, and then put your dry gear on, and you'll be cozy for the rest of the evening or the rest of the day. In addition to this, I bring a thermos that'll hold cold or warm beverages, and I also bring some snacks such as sunflower seeds, and I bring some oysters or some salmon or some sardines. Bring little hulls if I need it. Also other items like a flask or maybe some tobacco products if that's your thing. You need warm gloves just in case it turns cold, and also a warm hat for some of those cold trips rowing into camp. Other than that, I like to have a knife with me, and I carry a waterproof case with my cell phone and my wallet and my pen. This floats and this keeps everything pretty well protected. You may want to consider having a battery, some type of battery pack to recharge your cell phone. It's also important to have an extra hat. Hats get blown off in the wind. You might want to have a hat keeper, and of course you also want to have a croaky for your glasses if your glasses drop off easily. There'll be a separate duffel for your camp gear. This should be packed at home before you leave. In camp you'll be provided with a tent and a cot, but you will need to have a sleeping pad. I prefer a large thermarest, and a sleeping bag. Mine's a down bag that goes down to 20 degrees. A pillow is essential for comfortable sleeping. Eventually you'll want to get into some warm gear. I bring a nice warm cap to wear, and then you'll need a camp coat and some camp trousers and some shoes to wear in camp. If you're going to be hiking, you might want to bring some boots. About 3 sets of socks is essential, one for each day. I also bring a fresh shirt for each day and a shirt to wear in camp at night. I bring a couple extra upper body shirts, one to wear as a pajama top and one for an extra layer if I need it. I have 3 sets of long johns, one for each fishing day after the first day. In camp, it's essential that you have a light. A headlamp works well. I also bring an extra small flashlight, and it's essential to have some extra batteries. Other items you might want to consider are things like drawing materials or a book, and be sure to bring something along to share with your mates at night. This year I'm going to bring a little Woodford Reserve to honor Justify, winner of the Kentucky Derby. And don't forget your toiletries, particularly your prescription medications. You might want a small towel.